Hello everyone and welcome to my kitchen. Today I am going to walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to use a Presto pressure canner. Now when I first started pressure canning, I was freaked out of my mind. I have no problems admitting to you that the entire first canning session I cried the whole time. I spent an hour bawling my eyes out, afraid I was going to blow up my house and kill everybody. Now, yes, pressure canning is dangerous and is serious, but as long as you follow a few simple things, it's easy, nothing to worry about. So I'm going to take you along on pressure canning split pea soup. If you want to find the video for it, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But this is just the pressure canning part of it. That way I have a separate video for pressure canning, and whenever I tell people I'm going to be pressure canning now, let's send this through the pressure canner, I could say up here in one of the corners, and then there'll be a link up there to how to pressure can. I'll be able to cut time out of my videos, be able to put more videos up, produce more videos, and my editor will have an easier time editing and putting the videos out. So I'm going to do a step-by-step guide on how to pressure can. First step, you want to put all your product in your jars. For me, I need 1 inch of headspace, and then all my ingredients are in here, my lid is on, and my rings are fingertip tight. Now, when pressure canning, you don't have to pre-sterilize the jars. However, washing them would be nice. Obviously, you don't want to put food in dirty jars. Next step, we're going to want to take our jars and fill up our canner. I've already got 2 inches of water in here. If I need more, we'll know once we get the jars in. You want to try to get them spaced out as evenly as possible, so you have even pressure in your canner when the canning process starts. Now, if you don't have all 7 jars, or if you've got pints that fits 9, if you don't have them all, I pressure can full cans of water. We don't want to ever have an open spot like that in our canner. It has uneven pressure, and it can be dangerous at that point. So, full canner. Next step, our lid. We always want to check to make sure that our seal is not dried out. I rub oil on it about once a month, or about every 10 to 15 canning sessions. I rub oil all over the whole thing. You want to check to make sure that this pressure valve, lock valve, is moving and working with nothing inhibiting it. And then over here, you want to make sure that your pressure seal, because every once in a while a lot of pressure will build up, and this seal here will move and just release a little pressure. You want to make sure that that is in good shape. Then you look through this and see if you can see light. See that? No, nothing is stopping it, and nothing is in the way. Now we're just going to put our pressure canner on top of our pressure canner and start the process. And we want to make sure also that there's enough water. This is a meat product. It will be 90 minutes of pressure canning. I have never had water run out, but I have had water come close to running out. So I always make sure that I have the water up to right where it starts to get small and connect back into the lid. Then we put our lid on top of it, lining the arrows up, and close it. And all we do is turn our pressure canner on medium-high and start the process. Now you can turn it on high and then turn it down. You can do that. It's not a big deal. Once the jiggling and the pressure is going, you can turn it down. I don't like to do that. I like to keep it all at one processing level through the whole thing. It takes a little longer for it to warm up and get up to pressure, but I don't mind. For me, I feel more comfortable not messing with it, not messing with the temperature, and not messing with the heat. Just turning it on medium and letting it go from there. It will boil, it will come up to temperature, and it will come up to pressure all on its own. You don't need to rush the process. And I, probably an unfounded fear, also don't like the idea of turning it on high and getting it going and then turning it down to have a settled pressure going. For me, it leaves a little doubt in the back of my mind that maybe it's not being canned properly. So just for my own fears, I do the entire process on medium. It'll still come up, it'll still boil, it'll still get its pressure going, it'll just take a little longer, and it just makes me feel more comfortable. Alright, it's on medium, the canner is closed, it's all set up, and it's all ready to go. We're going to let this go, and we will be back when it is venting, a full steaming vent. And when it does that, and this has popped up in a full vent, we will turn on the timer, and we will let it vent for a full 10 minutes. We'll be back. Alright, here we go. It's full steam. I'm trying to get a view of this for you. I'm sure you can hear it. See that going past my hand? Oh, I wish there was some way I could make it show up better for you. Changing the color doesn't work either. Anyways, I'm sure you can hear it. That's full steam. Now we want to let that blow full steam for 10 full minutes. 10 minutes. It's called venting. That way you get the proper pressure in your pressure canner and you don't have any issues. Alright, we're going to set our timer and we'll be back. It has been on a full vent for 10 minutes and our timer has gone off. For my recipe and my altitude, I need 10 pounds. We're going to slip the weight right on top and it'll come up to a jiggle. Always make sure that you are pressure canning it for the amount of time for the longest ingredient in the item that you're pressure canning, and always make sure you check your altitude. You can just Google search it, what's my altitude and what is the pounds for pressure canning. It will tell you for where exactly you are at. For me, it's 10 pounds. So, put it on. I don't touch it. I don't mess with it. I let it come up to a full jiggle on its own. And then we start the timer. We'll be back. There we go. This is processing. We don't want to touch it. We don't want to mess with it. This is why I leave my thermostat or my temperature and start it at medium so that when it gets to this point, I don't have to turn it down to keep it at this point. It's not overly rocking. It's not overly crazy. It's exactly where it needs to be. This is the processing stage. Now I turn on my timer and I time it for 90 minutes. We'll be back. It's been going for 90 minutes. The timer has gone off. So now we turn it off. And we don't touch it. We don't do anything to it. We let it be. As you can see, it's already starting to slowly calm down. It takes approximately a little over half the amount of processing time for it to come down to a complete cool. This button will fall. This will obviously completely stop shaking. It'll probably stop shaking here soon. But this will stop shaking and this will fall. Then we will check it. And I'll show you how to check it when we come back. Alright, now it has cooled off. It's been almost an hour. It popped down about 5 minutes ago. I always let it sit for an extra 5 minutes after this button is popped down, just to make sure. And if you gently, there's no steam. Now this next part, it's really important that you always open it away from your face because it will burn you. There is still steam in there, and hopefully the jars will be boiling. Yep, see those boiling jars? That means you have brought it up to temperature and brought it up to processing, and it has processed properly. Boiling jars are a good thing. Now we let this sit here open for about 5 minutes. Then we will slowly remove them without tipping them or tilting them and let them cool completely for 24 hours. We'll be back. It's been 5 minutes. We are going to carefully take the jars out. And let them cool. Now, I've already heard one pop. You might hear more. And as you can see back here, you see that boiling? That is a very important sign. Boiling is good. Boiling means you have done things properly. This split pea soup looks so pretty. If you want to know how to make the split pea soup I have here, I will leave a link in the description below. And try to leave a link somewhere up here for you. If not, I'll make sure that I at least have an end card for you going to the split pea soup. Alright. Now we're going to let these cool. And we'll bring you back in about an hour when I remove the rings. And then we let them sit for 24 hours. Oop, there's one pop. And there we have it. It's been an hour. All but one jar has sealed. That is okay. That does happen. This is my second round of jars today. So altogether I ended up with actually 14 jars of split pea soup, and of the 14 jars only one seal failed, and I thought that this jar seal might fail. There was a funny ding in the lid, so I wasn't, not the jar itself, but in the lid, it didn't look right. It's not a big deal. I will put this in my fridge and have split pea soup for lunch tomorrow. It has been a couple of hours, well, an hour and a half, so an hour. They're not boiling hot anymore, but they are still warm. We want to get all the lids off, and then we're going to want to wash them and clean them. And get all the gunk off of them and let them sit. I am going to let them sit for 24 hours, and then after they've been sitting for 24 hours, we'll wash them and put them on our shelves. Thanks for coming along on this video, and I hope it helped you with step-by-step how to pressure can and let you feel a little bit more relaxed with all the different steps and exactly what to do at what moment. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them down below. If I can answer them personally, I will reply to your message. If not, I'll make another video about pressure canning again later on to try to answer all the questions that I have not been able to answer. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe to get more videos in the future. And remember, everyone, stay positive. Bye.